Om Shri
You are muted.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraga, Guru Sakshat Param Brahmam, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sadashivasamarambam, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Pradyandam, Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sakana Bhavatu, Sakana Bhunattu, Sakavidyam Karavavagai, Tejas Vina Vadidamastuma Vitvishavagayi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamyeva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this is the Shanti Padam of Shukla Yajurveda and for the Isopanishad. So we have seen in the last 4 sessions, first 2 on the Upanishad context. What is Upanishad? Upanishad is Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya. Upani means that which takes you for sure closer to the truth. By what? By Shat, by the Shabda, Upanishad means Shad, Tad, Tad, all this kind of Ugaram is added to give a dictional emphasis on it. So Shat means to destroy the Jnanam, Samsaram, thereby taking you closer to the truth. Why didn't Upanishad say makes you the truth? It only say Upani, Upa means Samibhyam. It takes you closer, closer, closer to the truth. Why is that? Because no Granda, no Vakyartha, Tattvartha given by Guru can give you that Anubhuti. Guru can take you to the tip of the Anubhuti, the closest possibility, but still there is that final step that you have to do or I have to do. What is this you and I? The Atma has to do. Whenever we say Atma, it is the self. The Atma Jnanam, the Atma Sakshatkaram, what Bhagavan says, Bhagavan Ramana says, is at the grace bestowed by the Atma, yourself. So therefore, therefore a prayatnam is needed. There is a nishta is needed. That is the Tattvartham for the word Upani. So Brahma Vidya is what we are learning. Atma Vidya is what we are learning. Every time when we say Atma, don't think of something else, think of yourself. Atma Jnanam is therefore knowledge about the self. And why the knowledge about the self is important? Because the knowledge about the self will be the knowledge about the Ishvara, about the Jagat. How is it possible? That was given in this riddle of the Shanti Pada. Purnamad Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate. I would recommend strongly that we all recite this one mantra every day. When you get up, the first thing to recite, when you go to bed to recite, the first, everything is Purnam. Start with Purnam, end with Purnam. And you know it's a riddle. You know, when you are a keen crossword player or Sudoku player, if you can't solve it, you can't sleep. While eating, you think about it. What is that crossword? What's the cryptic word? Same way, this Shanti Pada, nobody can explain it fully. Only can get Upani, take it closer to that. So by reciting it all the time, it unravels itself. Even though it looks difficult to understand, even though we spent 2 lessons, two lectures on it, to explain it, it will be still appear to be known and unknown. But that's the right state. You cannot really know it fully, because if you know it, it will be forgotten. Knowing is an object. Unknowing is avidya. kind of I know it, but I don't know it. That kind of a ambiguous state is not weakness, that is strength. You hold on to it, contemplate it. Like, when you go to a dark room, it's completely dark. But after some time, you see your pupils got expanding it. The light is taken up more, and you see within darkness there is light. You start visualizing things without any aid. Same way, the contemplation is going to expand it, the understanding of it more and more. Okay. So in this, I'm not going to go back to this, don't worry. But we have to remember this Shanti Padam for the entire Upanishad, for the entire Vedanta, the entire life. So here we saw the first assertion, Purnamataha, that is Purnam, that is complete. Yeah, okay, I won't question it. Then we question Purnamitam. This is also complete. And this being everything else that I see. Everything else I can name it, form it. My body, my mind, my world, my friendship, my buildings, my job, the world, that is also complete. And therefore, he was trying to equate Ishvara is Idam. So the second sentence, we accepted it as a Shraddha, but we are still doing the Mananam. We just want to know whether it is right thing or not. So the Isavasya Upanishad or Isopanishad is going to take this line, Purnamitam. Purnamadaha, there is no need to explain anymore. Because it is something esoteric in status. I trust it out of Shraddha. Purnamidam is something I am involved with. I am part of the Idam. That's what I think. Therefore, this is my problem. Therefore, this is the problem to be resolved. So, Isha Upanishad is going to take this Purnamidam. It's going to say, Isavasyam idam sarvam. Idam. It says, Om Isavasyam idagam sarvam yat kinchat pratyam jagat tena tyaktena bunjita magratak tasya vidhanam. Since we are not going to recite in Swaram, the idagam sarvam, that shabdam is to give you that emphasis. So we can just say idam sarvam. So that idam of Purnamitam is now come into this Isavasya Upanishad. And I have given you a preamble that this Upanishad is treated to be a very complex one to understand, not because it is not approachable, but the way of approaching will make it a different perspective of it. Now, everybody has given so many different interpretation of it, from, of course, Bhagavan Shankara to Padmapadas to Dhyaranya to Anandagiri to contemporaries, Vinoba Baba, Gandhiji, Aravinda, Vivekananda. But everybody has seen something out of it. Everybody bring out something which applies to the contemporary issues and problems. This is the beauty of truth. Truth is like a clay, it's like a clay. The way you touch it, it molds it itself. It gives you the way that you feel comfortable with, not losing its own nature, malleable. And great acharyas take it and pick up those things and give you. So we are going to see how the different interpretation comes through. But there is an interpretation which we will always follow back to, is what Bhagavan has given, Bhagavan Shankara has given. So Shankara is giving what Shankara's commentary is called. Any commentary is called a Bhashya. We saw what's the Bhashya Lakshanam. Panja Lakshanam we saw. Word meaning, word splitting, word meaning, compound word forming, sentence, Vakya Yojana, Akshebam, Samadhanam, all this are Vyakhyan. You need to have those things. When Shankara's Bhashyam is so profound, how can we understand it? So great acharyas who followed him wrote a Bhashyam on the Bhashyam. One such thing called Tika. Tika means what? Tika is that you elaborate on the commentary given by a Bhashyakara. So Shankara Bhashyam, if you take, Anandagiri's Tika is a Tika written by Anandagiri, explaining what does Shankara actually mean by saying this. There's a yukti there, but he will of course prove it by the evidence of many things. Don't worry, I will not drag into those detail of that, but just for you to understand, this should give you excitement about, proud about our way of thinking in those days. When you do a PhD, the research, you do an MPhil degree, and then they will teach you the research methods and how to present, how to report. Very systematically. You will see that in the Bhashyams and Vyakaranams and Tikas and Vartikas. So Anandagiri Tikas we'll mention sometime, where I have to borrow some understanding of it. Shankara put the Bhashyam heading as two parts. Sambandha Bhashya or Avatarika Bhashya, Udbodhaka Bhashya, preface we saw before. And we saw that in the last class. Why did we see that? Instead of going straight into this mantram? Because to understand Bhagavan's interpretation, you must understand Bhagavan's context, where he places the Upanishad. We know the Upanishad is part of the mantra, part of the Samhita part of it, of Shukla Yajurveda. Mantra means it is basically for worshipping or for applying for some prayojan. See, all the Dvaita schools think Vedas is Ekam. Shastras are Ekam. For them, Vedam is one uniform, just one thing. That's it. And what is predominant in this Veda? 80% of Vedas, 86% of Vedas are nothing but karmas, niyadis, rituals, world affairs. And if you take that, therefore, Ekam Shastram, then Karma Bhavam is most important. Especially Purva Mimamsa took it to the core. Therefore, everything else is just a upachara mantras. Like a servant, like Vidyaranya, when he writes the Shankara Digvijayam, he says that the Vedantam is a beautiful Kamadhenu cow, but the Purva Mimamsika is driven to the mud, beaten up, and using it to plow the land. What it means is that Vedanta has been taken as a subsidiary portion of the Karma Kantas and is used as a gap filler worshippers doing the karmas. It's mantra prayoga. Like when the puja is there, Naivedyam is not come, then somebody say, okay, can you sing a song? Now, what song is it? Okay, sing on Anjaneya, sing on something. The puja may be on Subramanya, but doesn't matter, sing the Anjaneya song. That's what you know, doesn't matter. Nothing wrong in that, but you see the position of the song is a gap filler, something nice thing, but it is not. Shankara took offense to this. No, it cannot be done. So he said, in the Avatarika Bhashya, Isavasya Upanishad, he writes it, but it is applicable to all Upanishad. This is not a mantra part. This is not for rituals. Unless Upanishad says, use it for rituals. Like Taittiriya Upanishad, some places say, use it. Kadhopanishad says, use it for Shraddha. But you don't use it for rituals. So that's the first point we learned. So second one, he says, this Upanishad is not to be cleansed or purified as a puja patram, because it is pure. It is, what does it do? Swarupa prakasam bhavati. It makes yourself enlightened. It brings your shine in you. It makes you who you really are. Why is that? I know myself. See, Swavabhigam, how you behave is not a Swarupam. How you see me. You see me, Raja, a guy who talks, or Raja, an angry man, Raja, a playful man. So I get different name, different personality of my behaviors. That is not my Swarupam. It's swabhavikam. My swabhavam is making me change. That is not my true nature. My swarupam is the true nature of myself. It becomes brightened. It shines through. It's not that Atma is enlightened by Upanishad words. Upanishad words are removing the veil. Therefore, the effulgence of Atma shines through. So by reciting, by understanding, by learning this Upanishad, my true nature comes out of me, comes out of this body, comes out of the mind. What's the point of that? Because I know who I am, so I get freedom. And if I take the next step, which we are going to talk in a minute, that is that revelation of who I am, how I'm going to keep it to myself, how I'm going to stay put on that. Because Swaswarupa Avasthanam Muktihi. If you are being yourself, that is Mukti. Mukti is not going to Vaikuntham or Kailasham or Swargam. No. Mukti is you are totally free from all this. You are at your own self. What about others? Because when you are yourself totally, there won't be any others, because you will see that. This is what the Jiva Ishvara Aikyam is going to come out of this Upanishad learning. When you are at that kind of nishtha, the last point Shankara made, Atma Egatva Vijnana Urpatihi. First, it is a Swarupa Prakasham Asti. Because of that, Swabhavika Ajnana Nivarti. Your own effulgence comes out. Because of the light, your own darkness goes away. Because darkness has no place in light. The darkness is avidya. Avidya is samsara. Samsara nivarti. Samsara nivarti means you are yourself. Swarupa avasthana muktihi. You attain liberation. Now, I have got everything. Well, Atma Egatva Vijnana Utpatti. By this Upanishad, this Vijnana means an applied knowledge. See, you can have a lot of jnanam, but if you cannot apply it, what's the point of it? The library has got a lot of knowledge. It is a useless place. I mean, in the sense of, you cannot apply that knowledge. So what's the point of being a storehouse of knowing all the mantras left and right, but you don't know the import of it, you don't apply it. So the 4 reasons he gave, this Upanishad is going to make that in you, and therefore it is not a puja patram, it's not a pushpam or something to use it to adore God, because it is God. Upanishad is God. So don't put the Upanishad book and then do the arti for it. But Krishna says, don't keep the Gita book in the shelf. Tear it, read it, tear it, understand it. Put markers, understand this word, understand the meaning. That's why it's a book of life. So that's what it, that you remember that is the content we're going to go into this. And we will see it in literal sense, more practical sense of how many acharyas has given definition. And then we try to go to the true import of it. So what you're doing now is Jnana Yajnam. Always remember, it's not just attending a satsangam class and time spent like in a gym, like in a yoga class. No, it is a Jnana Yajnam. It is as good as, better than even going to temple. Because it is not about collecting punyas or papas. You go to Koil and do temple, you do the Archana, you get a punya, but if you spill something there, you make dirty there, you make some bad comments, you get a papam. So punya is at risk of papam. But in a satsangam where there is a Vedanta Atma Vicharan happens, there is no question of papa punya, because it surpasses that. It gives you freedom. So therefore it's called a Jnana Yajnam. What is a Jnana Yajnam we are doing? I'm just sitting there, not doing anything. Somebody is talking and I'm just sitting there. Many I don't understand it, but I just like to hear it. Well, that is what you're doing. That's what you have to do. It's called a Shravanam. But We don't sleep there, but what we do, Shravanam is, the one way to define that is Padajanya Jnanam Avarti, Jnana Avarti. Padajanya Jnanam. So whenever the preacher or teacher or talker gives you word meaning, word and word meaning, get everything. Okay, this is what it means. Okay, I take it as it is. Then you may be bored of me repeating it many times, but if you want to get benefit of these things, you must do it. Then you must think about it. Why do you think about it? The thinking motivation is Tattva Nirnayam. That's called Mananam. So in the Shravanam, what you need only two qualities. You don't need any Sanskrit knowledge, Vedic knowledge, Vedanta knowledge, nothing you need. But you need two things, qualities you need. Shraddha and Bhakti. Shraddha is, well, this is going to give me benefit. Therefore, whatever being told, even though I do not understand, I will eventually understand, I take it. It's like somebody is giving me the treasure box without the key to open it, but I know it's a treasure. I don't have the key, but I'll take the treasure box. That is Shraddha. Bhakti is, this is Adhyatmikam. This is about reverence to the God, reverence to the Gurus. So we do a Shraddha Bhakti, collect all this. Then we go do Mananam. Mananam is to, this is what the meaning they said, but I heard this way the meaning. This book said this, that person said this. What is correct? It doesn't tally with me. Go back to Shravana. Acha, question and answers. So you do this. This is called the Mananam. Here, what you need to Shraddha Bhakti, you add Vicharam, Yukti Pramana, using your intellect. When the Mananam is complete, that means this slogam, today I understood, 1 week I contemplated, I exchanged a few question and answers, talked to a few other acharyas, a better ones, I get some different meaning, different interpretation. Now I understand. When you understand, what you understand is depending on that, you get a jnanam. Here you get Atma Jnanam. When the Mananam is complete, you get Atma Jnanam. You have not realized Atma, but you got Atma Jnanam. You know what is Atma is. You know that very well. Only after attaining the Atma Jnanam, you can do Atma Dhyana. Atma Dhyana is Dhyanam, you know. You do Dhyanam on Ganesha, Rama, Krishna. And all the Dhyanam finally leads to Atma Jnanam. Contemplate on the Ishvara, the Atma who is indwelling inside you. Who are you? This is the Tattvanubhuti. Tattvartha Sangarshanam. It is called Nishtha, Nididhyasanam. So, in the Shravanam, you don't know anything, but you're just receiving. Mananam, you have questions, contemplation, leading to a convergence to a statement, a truth. Nididhyasanam is applying it, because if you don't do Nididhyasanam, the jnanam will come and go. This is the beauty of it. All this is not new to anybody. Everybody knows it. Look at the child. Child is free. Why does child need Upanishad? If freedom is what? The child is free. He doesn't care. But why child has lost everything else? Because there is this Maya sitting on the fence. It's a Leela of God. Just to bounce on you and put a veil on you. That's why many a times when this Archimedes or Galileo, somebody with Eureka, they ran away from the bathtub because that cannot be let go. That kind of a thing. So when that feeling of understanding comes in, sit down, hold on to it, develop more and more, and then your time to stay on that more becomes larger. Technical terms are samadhis, savikalpa samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi. Let's not use all the buzzwords. You feel fulfilled. Then you walk around with that kind of a mindset. Without you knowing, you glow. People revere. We will see. The great jnanis, when they go, the tigers come and stand next to them. They don't see them as an enemy because it looks like Sarvatma. Because you are fulfilled. When you are completely fulfilled, no enmity there. That is Advaita. There's no difference. So this is how, therefore what you're doing is the jnana. So all this is important to understand the meaning of what it is. Okay. Om Isavasyam idam sarvam kat kincha jagatyam jagate tena takyena bunchita magridhaha kasyasvit dhanam. Okay. 2 sentences. We see the literal meaning now. Okay. Om, we talked about it. Om is a pranavam, mangalartham. Let's not dwell there. Isavasyam idagum sarvam. See, when you read some books or when you go to some of those great scholars' lectures, they will put a caveat. This mantram is only for sannyasis, not for others. Then you will say, even Upanishads are supposed to be for sannyasis. Especially the Purvashramas, Purvamyamska will say, no, that is karmas. And some Vedantis will say, no, don't touch it. This is for sannyasis only. So question may come, so am I qualified to read it? Is it okay for me to understand this, recite this? But I'll answer this. But keep in mind, sannyasi is not someone jumped from the sky. Sannyasi is one who changed lifestyle of living in this world. One who chosen a particular lifestyle, either because his samskara drove him, or he got the jnanam, a vidvas sannyasi, or he got a dukkham of this world. Whatever reason, someone has taken up a particular path of going through. Is it allowed? Yes, it is allowed. In fact, it is defined in our Shastras. The Varnashrama Dharmam, and the Varnashram is, there are 2 dharmas, Varna Dharmam and Ashrama Dharmam. Varna Dharmam is a societal dharma. How the society should function by division of labor. We talked about it before in the previous lectures. Ashrama Dharmam is how individual life has to move. Ashram means where you depend on, where you dwell. So I dwell in a life in this world. Therefore, Vedas give you, this is the Purvapaka, gives you choose a life in 4 stages. Brahmacharyam, Grihasthashramam, Vanaprastham, and Sannyasam. So therefore, here Sannyasam is not a special nature of being. It is a transition of anybody at some stage in life, either by interest or by samskara. For some, it may come early, like Bhagavan Ravana or Bhagavan Shankara. Shankara even made a trick from Brahmacharyam to jump straight to the sannyasam, to tell his mother that the crocodile has caught my legs and please, you let me go. But you see, he was following the Brahmacharya Dharma. Brahmacharya Dharma is what? You always have to beg, plead. Plead for knowledge first. The Guru will give you knowledge. Plead for food. Go there and do Bhavati Bhikshan Dehi. Why all this? Because nothing, because if you can go and earn yourself, then money will come. Pravritti will come. Your education will go away. Your role is to plead and acquire knowledge. Then you get married and apply this knowledge and help others. Like who helped you when you were Brahmachari? This is how the structure is done. So Bhagavan Shankara pleads his mother, please let me go to sannyasam. He did not say, Mom, you don't know, you're old-fashioned. I'm a modern one. You don't know all this. These days children tell you, right? You don't know how to Google that means you are old-fashioned, Unfortunate. So he took sannyas. So sannyasam is not something to be afraid of, not something that you need to really go to the cave, wear a different robe. See, they're all to show them that they are choosing this lifestyle. Like devotees, when they go to Shabarimala, they wear a black dress, black robe. Why? Because they let you know that I've taken a vow to go there. So I need to follow these disciplines, like I won't eat bad food, I won't do bad things. I want to be clean, both physically, mentally. Therefore, please don't sing film song to me. Don't take me to a hotel. So stay away. So this is a kind of a request to the society. I am different for this phase of life. Same way, sannyasis where I am, this is my, why they choose kavi or white, black, doesn't matter. So we respect the lifestyle. Okay, now coming back to this. So if this is for sannyasis, why should we accept that? Is Upanishad for all humanity without any discrimination? We will accept that once we understand the importance of it, because Atma Vijnanam unita. You must be able to apply this knowledge. This knowledge will come and go if you have nishtha on it. So when can I hold this knowledge and apply it to myself? When you understand the inner meaning of it, you will realize it. This is not something I can do now. I need to be a sannyasi. I need to be a lifestyle of nivritti marga. So two margas, pravritti marga and nivritti marga. We read in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan eloquently talks about in many, many chapters, two lifestyles. Pravritti marga is you live in this world and create things. Go to primarily for the grihastha, who is in the family life. You go and earn money. Because why you earn money? Should I not go for the Atma Jnanam? Yes, you can go. But you are doing a wonderful service to society. You are far better than Atma Jnyasu, because you are helping them. You earn money, you cook food, you give the brahmacharis food, give the sannyasis food, give the old people of food. Without you, no yajna can happen, no temples can be there. Society cannot function. You, as a Divya Tampadi, married person, wife is called Dharma Patini. Because your job is to do, man has to do Dharma Patini. She got a more power because she is the guiding force to go in the right direction. So the marriage ceremony in our Hindu Dharma is not just, of course, the physical interaction, intimacy, love, all this thing is a bonus. But it is the divine wow. See, there is no mantras in Vedas for Trimangalyam, Mangaladharanam. Even I heard scholars tell me this. The Mangalyam Bandhuna is not a Veda mantra, it's all Smriti mantras. The mantras are all about how you become a Guru Sishya Parampara. Husband and wife become a Guru and Sishya. At different times, each is a Guru, each is a Sishya. Why? Because they together execute dharma karyas, society to survive. So the brahmachari who earns his livelihood with the Guru's kripa, therefore he has a Guru Rinam, he has to fulfill the Guru's obligation and the parents' obligation. The parents' obligation, how does he discharge? Two ways. He becomes a brahmachari, then he gets married to a life. And then the parents become old, they go to Vanaprastha, retired life. Like how the young boy was learning everything else in the world and the parents have obscured all other problems. His dress is bought for him, cars bought for him, pens bought for him, because he doesn't need to worry. Let him focus on his study. Like that, when the parents become retired and go to Vanaprastha got a job to do. They have to do upasanas. Brahmachari learns everything. Grahastha applies what he learned in rituals. Only Grahastha got authority to do yagyams, puja, shraddham. Even in many temples, a brahmachari cannot do the abhishekam to Swami. Only a Grahastha can do it. Sannyasi cannot do it. Even Periva goes to temple, Periva would not do in the temple, he won't do the puja, he'll wait and watch others do it. That is not a dharma. See, everything is systematically done. So the vanaprastham, the upasana comes in. Upasana is not for Grahastha do upasana, but sometimes you wonder, I want to do this puja today, I could not do because I need to drop my child. You feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. That is not your job to do. Prayer is, take care of your duty. That is upasana. But there is a time. When is the time? You retire. After retirement, you still hold the key of the Godrej Bureau. You take, intrude in children's life, grandchildren's life, and you are in a samsara all the time. No, you have to say no to things because this is your time. You do upasana. When you do upasana, children know that I owe them this. So let them do upasana. Let me not bother them to child mind my children. Let them not push them out. Now, you do the vanaprastham. Upasana, what happens upasana? Upasana is turns your mind, you come to the satsanga classes. Okay, we have a lot of youngsters here. You are brahmachari, you are supposed to learn all those things. You may not be able to apply it, but it keeps you a marker. But then there is a stage called sannyasa. Nyasam means giving up. Sannyasam means completely giving up. I have done all this. All this is immaterial. I'm not going to carry a needle when I am dead. I'm not going to carry the bank balance. How am I going to worry? Why am I going to worry about this all the time? So you start giving up. You don't give up until you go to the deathbed of it. No. Well before give up all this. That is tyagam. That is sannyasa. Now, I have not changed my clothes. I have not gone to the caves. But some stage, I plan to be a sannyasi. That's what I think. That's what you should think. You will think. So if I'm going to be a sannyasi like that, there I had to understand the import of this mantra. Therefore, this is relevant to me. Understand? So I am a brahmachari. I have a long way to go, but this will give me a marker which way to go. So I must know the meaning. I am a grahastha. So I can't do upasana, I can't do all these things. But this is a marker. I must know it. I am a vanaprastha. I am a retired person. I am not taken sannyasa. I still go around and enjoy occasional music, occasional golfing. But I have a lot of my time on upasana. Right? This is a marker. So if you take this way, this artificial or a kind of a synthetic assertion, this is sannyasis, don't come here. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Now, what is the literal meaning of it? Isavasyam. Isha means Ish, that is the root. One that controls, rules, manages. Ishvara. Vasyam. We'll see in two ways. First literal meaning is Vyapitam, pervasive. That is, Isha is pervasive. Ishvara is pervasive. Where? Idam. Purnamitam. Purnamatha, we know it. Purnamatha is Ishvara is Purnam. We didn't quarrel there. We accepted. But here he is sneaking in Vasyamitam. Isha Vasyamitam. Now Purnamitam, he is bringing Ishvara into this. But what is this Idam? Sarvam, everything. Yat kincha jagatyam jagate. Jagatyam jagate. Jagate, jagat. Jagatyam means this world. In this world, the world. What does it mean? In this world, everything that's manifested. Jagat, you can remember Jagat as Jayate Gachati iti. What that comes, what that goes is Jagat. That means whatever is manifest is Jagat. Whatever comes and goes is Jagat. That means my body is Jagat. This building is Jagat. This world, the earth is Jagat. Everything I see this is Jagat. All this is there in this Jagatyam. So in this whole changing world is the world, Sarvam, everything else, Yatkincha, even a smallest part of it. Whether it is an atom or is it a mammoth galaxy, doesn't matter. Everything. Okay, what about all this? That is Idam. Idam is all those, Idam Sarvam. Isavasyam. They are all pervaded by Ishvara. What is pervading something means? Like if you come to the puja room of somebody's house, you go to Balaji's house, there's a puja happen. So he has just put a beautiful fragrant stick. It's burning. When you go there, you say, the room is filled with this vasana. Pervasive. Is that pervasive here? Many things. Why it is pervasive? Why is this vasana is pervasive everywhere? It's pervading everywhere? Because it is sukshma. Always a sukshmam can pervade more easily than gross. It's not. It's very simple. Liquid flows faster than ice. Water flows everywhere. The steam pervades more. So more subtler things are, more pervasive they are. Subtlest of subtlest is Ishvara. There may be other kind of pervasive things, pervasiveness. For example, a child born to parents, the child has got the mother's nose and the father's ears and the grandparents' walk, the gene and all these things. That's also in a way is a pervading, but it is not really, not like the fragrance of it. Or you can take the gold in a jewel, a gold bangle. Gold is pervading, full of, in a fragrance. It's only part of it. The density is not there. There are maybe other fragrances of that. In a child when is born, or an effect from the cause has got something else there. But this is 100% a gold bangle is gold, complete. That kind of pervasiveness is Ishvara. That means everything is Ishvara. Only this particular phrase is what the whole Vishwarupa Darshanam of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan, because Arjuna was far superior than us, but still not Atmakyani, so he needs to be enumerated. He says, I am this Garuda, I am this Samagana, I am this thing. So he's showing all these things in the world, one after the other. What does it mean? It means Isavasya Idam Sarva. I am everything. I am pervading everything. So at least gold, I can see the gold in a gold bangle, but I can't see God. You say God, I see this dirty pig on this gutter. Are you saying that God is there? In Manisha Panchakam, the Chandala asked the question to the Shankara's disciple who stopped him, go away from me. They said, what are you asking me to go away? This body, this mind, or this Atma which is everywhere pervasive? How do I know it is indwelling? This is it. So here the Vasyam, Vyapitam is not only outwardly pervading, also indwelling inside. Indwelling inside, that means I have God inside me. Well, I can say yes, but Vedanta says, inside you are God. Not God is inside you. You are God. That's frightening, right? Bhagavan gives beautifully this. See, one problem which sometimes we jump into, especially when you are more intellectually inclined and you want to prove a case, you look the drishtandam into the main focus. Bhagavan says very clearly, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vitti sarva kshetrashu bharata. Kshetrajnor jnanam yat jnanam matam mamaha. Kshetram is the body. Kshetrajnan, I am. Kshetrajna means one who knows, one who sees. See, we say Kasi Kshetram, Ayodhi Kshetram, Madhura Kshetram. Kshetram is where the divinity is said. I want to give a hint there. Every body is a Kshetram. Even a mosquito is a Kshetram. Why? Because inside is indwelling Kshetrajnan. You look at a little ant and you touch it in its path, it will find another path and go. It knows it. Who makes it go? Kshetrajnan. So Gita, when it talks about Kshetrajnanam, it is about understanding the body, the embodiment under the indweller. Ekam evehi bhudatma bhude bhude vivastya. Ekata bhaguta chaiva drishyade jalachantravat. This is Upanishad. Ekam evehi bhudatma bhute bhute vivastya. In all the Buddhas, all the bodies, Atma is one. But it is shown in every bodies. Ekata bhaguta eva. So it's all one. Drishyade jalachantravat. You know, when you look at the moon on a different waterfront, you know, in a sea, in a river, in a pot of water, in a pond, you see the different Chandra appears, reflection appears. There's only one Chandran, one moon, but it appears in so many different places. Like that. See, this is called a Drishtandam. Drishtandam has got so many different meanings, you know. In Sanskrit Vyakaran, Drishtanda Alankaram is how the poetic measure. Here, Drishtandam is example, exemplification, example. An example should be only used in the context of why it is said, for what purpose. You know, if I tell you, Mukund is busy like a bee. Now you look at him and say, hey, Raja told me you are like a bee. I don't see the stinging tentacles out there. Where do you keep your honey? Which flowers do you go fly? You don't ask the question. Because that is insane. The busyness of the bee is what is seen in Mukund's action. See what? So context is very important. The reason I say, because the Bhagavan uses this kind of a Drishtandam, Jalachandravat, rope on the, snake on the rope, and mud pot, and golden jewel, nectar on a pearl. All this is used for that sense. But the followers of Vedanta, both in Advaita Vedanta and other Vedanta schools, they start elaborating this. I give an example. I didn't want to dwell there, but I think it's important. There's something called a Bimba Pradibimba Vadam in Advaita Vedanta. The Bimba Pradibimba Vadam. This school. This has become a school by itself called Vivarana School of Vedanta. This comes from the Padmabhata, who is one of the disciples of Shankara. Why? Because when you take an example like this, when Chandran is Natma, then because all the Advaitis have got the intellectual task of proving to other challengers Jiva Ishvara Aikyam, that is Ekam Satyam. To prove that, you need to apply the yuktis. So they said, to explain the Jiva and Ishvara, they use the example of Pradibimba. So I take a mirror. I used the example last time when I taught you about that. Take a mirror, and the light is there. The light touches the mirror. The mirror is stationed, yeah? The light is all pervasive. So that is Brahman. You can't really put a form to it. It's all pervasive brightness. That is Brahman. I can't see it because you need a medium. But here is a medium, a mirror. In the mirror, I look at it and there is a lightness. There is light. But is this light by itself it has come? No. Can the light do anything without that light outlet? No. But this is also light. Now, this light can reflect on the wall. In the wall, I can see a light, a reflection there. Here there's a reflection, there there's a reflection. If this mirror changes, does the light changes outside? No. Does the reflection change outside? Yes. Now, please hold this thought just for this context. Don't go too much into this because it's an example. So this light inside the mirror is Ishvara. This Ishvara is nothing other than the light outside the Brahman. Brahman is Ishvara. But here it's called Ishvara because, why? Because he is in a upati, in a medium, a reflective medium called Maya. Brahman look at his own power of Maya. Like if I go and look at myself in the mirror, I see my face. Like that, Brahman, don't ask me why, Brahman looked at his own power of Maya. The Maya is so subtle. Everything subtle reflects. I just told you, everything subtle. It's a law of physics. If you keep on polishing something, a granite will be opaque. But when you keep polishing, it becomes a mirror. Subtle things becomes reflective. So when it reflects there, you see Ishvara. But this Maya is not only, it's everywhere. In so many different ways. Maya brings its own gunas. The gunas is the sattva, rajas, tamo gunas, different are different. For different walls, different existence happens. The light on this mirror reflects differently. You understand? Light is Ishvara. When it reflects on the wall, that is my jiva. If it reflects on, imagine it reflects onto a doll like me, for example. The doll becomes illumined. The jiva becomes lifeful. Now imagine inside this doll, there's a mechanical doll. There's a mechanism which when it gets the power of energy, light comes in, it does some things, it animates. So this doll started moving the hands, twinkling the eyes, smiling, talking, thinking, doing things. That is I am. So I have the Ishvara Jyoti inside. Imagine now the mirror is inside, embedded into this. My mind is the reflected light. The mind gets the energy. The mind activates my animatronics, which is my nervous system, my indriyas, my bones, flesh. Everything becomes now live. Now imagine this doll. Says, thank you so much. I got everything. But I am the one. I am the one doing it. You see, because I go with this other doll and we made together, I get produced Newton. So I am the creator. So it thinks it is me doing everything. Nothing else. But one day, the light just goes off. The doll just falls down. The other doll sitting next to him say, oh, this doll, Raja, is gone. You don't even say Raja anymore. Look at this embodiment. Realization comes through. See, this bimba, pradibimba, vicharam was only meant to tell you the idea of Ishvara, Jiva, and Brahman. They are not three different things. Brahman is Satyam, Ekam Satyam. But wait a minute. I can understand Brahman, but this light, Ishvara, he looks like limited. Yes, he is also limited in the sense he is a Saguna Brahman. He is in a mirror. Mirror has got a form, right? It got a boundary, otherwise it cannot be a mirror. Right? So anything as a form has got indefinite. That's why Krishna came and gone. But he's in a subtle form as a Brahman in our mind. So Ishvara, the only thing is he can decide when to go, not to go, because he is a controller of Maya. Whereas we, the reflection, we have no control. The mirror moves this way, reflection moves this way. The mirror shakes, reflection shakes. The mirror is dirty, reflection is dirty. So I am as a jiva is incompetent, impotent. I do nothing. I'm inert, insentient. My sentiency comes from this Atma Pragasa that is reflected in me. So this school of thought is called Pratibimbavan. Now, of course, you want to argue against it? Yes, you can argue. I give an argument. Wait a minute, you said Brahman is infinite, right? Infinite means no nama rupam. Yeah. No rupa means there's no boundary. Yes. How can something which has no boundary have reflection? You caught me there, right? I'm wrong. But that is not the intention of this. If you it's like busy bee you start looking for in a mukund wing. No. But you still think, no, I somehow I cannot, the example, because the example I cannot accept it, therefore I won't accept your theory. God cannot reflect. Then there are some acharyas, especially Vasistha Mishra, we start called a Bhamati school of thought. Bhamati is a Tika he wrote about Shankara Bhashyam on Brahma Sutra. So he put a different way, called Vivarana school, sorry, Bhamati school. And what he says, well, look at this way. You see there a man making pots, yeah. Go there, yeah. Can you bring the pot? And you say, look, don't play the game of Nama Rupam, yeah. I'll bring the pot as it is. Don't tell me to bring the pot around the mud. So no, I'm not going to play this game. Bring the pot. So I go and bring the pot. And I tell you, no, you didn't bring the pot. You also brought the sky inside the pot. So what do you mean? It's an empty pot. No, it's not empty. There's a space there. Yes. No, if I put a water pot, I bring the water, I can see, but there's nothing there. No, there's no nothing. There is space there. Yes, yeah. But when you ask me to bring a pot from that to here, how can I bring the pot without the space inside? I have to break the pot. Then pot won't be there. Then ask the question, okay, pot won't be there, where will be the space? Oh, space won't be there. Wait a minute. You said there's a space inside the pot. Yes. You said you can't bring the pot without the space. Yes. If you break the pot is not there, space is not there. No, space is there. It is everywhere. Well, this is it. The pot that you have is your deha, embodiment. The space inside is your jivatma, jiva and atma. When the pot is broken, jivatma merges with the paramatma, the mahakasa. So this is another example, right? We can argue against this again. Well, the pot inside can be smelly. Air is without smell. Then I would say, no, smell is not to the space, it's to the air inside the pot. If the pot is in a vacuum, there will be any smell. So we can, see, we can start debating the drishtantam until cows come home. And this was a positive problem in those days. Even today, even as late as last month, there was a big debate going on in one of the research papers in MIT. They're doing how this is different from physicality of nature. That's the kind of a research going on there. Because when you are discussing this, you're not discussing Atma anymore. You are discussing the Panchabhutas, discussing the pot, discussing the mud, discussing the boundary. What is all this? They are Mithyatvam. They are Maya. Maya is infinite. Anirvachaniyam. You cannot define it. Therefore, if you do a PhD on this kind of subject, there can be so many papers coming out, so many different views. It never ends. So, I dwell on this because if you read, there are different Vedanta schools, they are not contradicting each other. Shankara has no school. Shankara just follows Vedanta. So, the descendant of them has created this kind of a thing, and then the Dvaitavadis have started approaching them, attacking them. There are a lot of questions, even today unresolved by many. It's of no material value to us. So here is talk about Ishwaran pervading and indwelling. Ishwara means Brahman. Brahma means Ishwara. But when you use Saguna Upasana, Ishwara or Parameshwara or Mahanarayana, whatever you want to call it, the faith is, it is with Maya as its power. In the case of Parvati Parameshwara, Parameshwara is the Brahman, Parvati is a Maya Shakti. In the case of Sriman Narayana and Lakshmi is Shivarupam, Krishna is Mayavi, Vishnu is Mayavi. It's just figuring out how to worship it. You can have it in so many different ways. Now, given all the background, let's do the meaning of it. So in this changing world, whatever is manifest, there's a lot of Ishvara. Okay. So this assertion is telling me, therefore, you look at it as with a divine being. Everything is divine. Now, there's also another way you can argue the cause and effect argument, because if you're an atheist, you say, look, I don't believe in Ishvara or God. Everything is everything as it is. Sangyas will say, right? Ishvara, Purusha is different from Prakriti. They are two different things. If there are two things, then there is no kind of superiority between them. Or you say, if there is something created, there must be a creator. If there is a creator, who creates the creator? It's infinite regress. Therefore, there is a causeless cause is there. The causeless cause is theory of one thing, point of singularity, the science calls it. We call it Ishvara. So in all angle, all schools of thought, this is a Mahavakyam, understood. The next one, Tena Tyaktena Bunchita Magradha Kaschivit Dhanam. Now it gives you two instructions. With your sacrifices, Tena Tyaktena. Tyaktena means sacrifice. With your sacrifice, save yourself. Do not desire the wealth of whoever be. Now, when Acharya Vinobhava gives an explanation to it, he takes as a Karma Yoga explanation. Mahatma Gandhi takes the same way. Sacrifice your karma phala. By doing that, you save yourself from the delusion, from the samsara. Therefore, do not desire the wealth of whoever be. Don't take the wealth of, don't be jealous, avarice, greed. Mahatma Gandhi took from this his famous saying, there is everything in this world for everyone's need, but not anyone's greed. So don't have greed. Now you can see, if you take this literal meaning, this has got very profound, this is itself, because this is morality. Sacrifice your thing, karma yoga. Save yourself, that will give me unentangled in this world. And don't desire anybody's wealth. Correct? But this is, how does it connect to the first one? Because this is Ishvara, there's a controller, Ishvara is there. So if I steal somebody's one, Ishvara will punish me. If I sacrifice myself, Ishvara will give me kindness to me. He'll protect me. So all the kind of a morality can be derived from this and do all that. But we will not be happy with this, right? So you need to go to the deeper meaning of it. What's the deeper meaning? Isavasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. So everything in this world, vasyam, Instead of Vyapitam, you can do that which covers this. Achadiniyam. That means it is covering. Cover the whole thing with what? Vasyam here, like vastram, you say, vastram means what? Cloth. What does the cloth do? It covers. Vasyam is coming the vas, the road. Cover that. Cover the whole world. With God? No. Here the Isha becomes a Triya Vibhakti. You must, Shankara says, Ishvara Jnanam. Kim Achadiniyam? You ask. I cover the whole world with what? With Ishvara Jnanam. What is Ishvara Jnanam? Ishvara Jnanam is everything is Ishvara's Srishti. Always keep in mind, in Vedanta, we will be negating whatever we said as we progress it to the finest of the truth. The Srishti, we will reject it later. But right now, let's take Srishti. There are things exist, so we see it. Comes and goes. Somebody is creating it. So everything is created by God. Therefore, Ishvara Srishti, with the Ishvara Srishti, you cover it up. How do I cover by Ishvara Srishti? What does it mean? If Ishvara is a Srishti Karta, no, you go to, somebody writes a book, the author's name is there. So, it's that author's book belonging to him because he wrote it. But the paper may come from the tree. The printer may be somebody else. But if there is no paper printing, nothing exists before. And once nothing was there, right? So to create the world, the God who was the Nimitta Karana, also had to be Upadana Karana, a material cause. He must have used himself or herself to be the material for the world. Because we reject Sankya's theory. We reject Achetanam, inert object cannot exist with themselves. Nothing can be created by itself without an intelligent principle. Even with intelligence, we cannot create anything. We can only put together things. So therefore, the Upadana Karanam cannot exist by itself. Sankya's theory is gone. Therefore, Ishvara should have used himself or herself to be the world. Why everything in the world is Ishvara Pradhanam, Ishvara Shrishtihi. Therefore, I cover. What am I covering? What is covering means? I defocus what I need to defocus in my camera. When you take a camera, you bought a new camera, you want to focus the person, your love lady there, loving girl is there, you want to focus it. But the mountain comes in, tree comes in, you adjust it, you focus it. What you need to focus. From the Karya Drishti to Karana Drishti. Upatana Karanam, Nimitta Karanam is Ishvara. Jagat is a Karyam. In the seeing you, why should I see a God? God in you. So if I start seeing with a God in you, I see everything divine. I know what you ask in your mind. Yeah, it's all fine. How can I see? Now, the moment I come out of the class, I see my debtor who's pestering me for the money that I owe him. I don't like him. How can I see God in him? How that I see that person always, cringes about something. Oh, this guy is coming, he must be a drunkard. How can I see God in him? Here there's a great insight, Shankara says. If you take Srishti, if Srishti is real, what we are taking now, and we said Ishvara create everything else, Ishvara Srishti. Narajanmam Durlapam, we say, very rare to become a human being because of so many things we say. This is one important thing why Narajanmam Durlapam, because like Ishvara Srishti, there is a Jiva Srishti. What is Jiva Srishti? You see me and you think, this guy, I hate him because he's a bad person. You have now created your srishti. Your srishti is this man, a bad man. Oh, they must be talking about me. They are jealous of me. Oh, they are evil. Oh, he's a good person. I do impose my gunakalpitam on you, upon you, because of my samskara. So I am creating a world for myself. That is a world. Please think about it deeper. You create your loka. Loka. Can we talk about it? Look means that you perceive. Sanskrit look is same as English look. Your perception. Your world of perception is what you create. You are the creator. God has nothing to do. If you see me as a bad person, please don't involve God in it. You created me as a bad person in your experience. And because you think that way, every action of mine will give you misery. Why I am thinking you as a bad person? Maybe the karma, maybe the samskara, maybe vasana, maybe I've done really bad things to you. Therefore, this ownership of assuming gunabhetam in a vyavakarikam, I impose my thinking on you and see you as a bad person, is my srishti. Therefore, what I am dealing in this world, you cannot say, you cannot say this world is full of pain. I'm sorry, the world is full of joy, full of anandam. But your world is full of pain because you had a srishti of yourself. Good morning is there every day. It's not bad morning, never a bad morning. It's a bad morning because if you had a nightmare, you get up in the morning and you don't recite Purnamada Purnamidam and everything looks bad and you see, what the hell? See? Now, if you understand this, if you agree that we create the world for ourselves, a Jiva Srishti. So now there are two Srishti, one is Ishvara Srishti and Jiva Srishti. The first line says, in the normal understanding, we saw in this changing world, everything is big God. It's an assertion that in our way, we say we become an instruction. We convert this into instruction using Sangra Bhashya. In this changing world, whatever that is manifest, they'll all be covered by Ishvara Jnana or Ishvara Drishti. So it's instruction to us. You see everything to be a Ishvara Srishti. Don't impose your Jiva Srishti on it. You might have come and slapped me yesterday. You are coming today. I don't remember your slapping. I don't care. I still see you as a divine being coming towards me. But if I keep in memory, you idiot, you hit me yesterday, I'll hit you today. So I am creating a Srishti. You see, is it possible to do that? Why should be this only for sannyasis? It's possible to do. But it is not impossible to do, at least. Okay? So that we convert the first line of assertion to a divine instruction for us, that we see things as they are. Don't factorize. We use the word fact. Fact of life, we say. What is fact? Fact is what you factor in your mind, not what you are seeing as a truth. No. Your factoring itself sounds like a manipulation, right? You factor it, you somehow manipulate it. You bring your thing, When I wear dark glasses, everything looks dark outside. Let us try not to do this. Try to deconstruct our way of looking at things. What you can do, you can experiment, next maybe 1 hour, everybody you see them fresh. See them fresh as if that it is absolutely pure divinity. You'll be surprised to see how the relationship changes. Okay, that's the first line. Second line, Kena Tekkena Bunchita Magrida Kaschavidhanam. In Vyakhyanam we do Padachedam, right? You must split each word. Kasyavit dhanam. Kasyavit. The sid, the kasya svit, that is, it's called nipatam in Sanskrit. In Tamil, it's called asaicham. That has no meaning, just to bring the meter. Kasya dhanam. Whose wealth it is? Now here we can take Magriti Kasya dhanam. We can take it as a two separate sentences. One instruction, one assertion. How? If I understand the first line, that everything is God's creation by his own upada karanam and nimitta karanam, who does it belong to? God. Well, I earned it. Yeah. It's only nama rupam we earned it. It's God's. This is my house. Yes. One day you'll be gone. It's not your house. This is my estate, 2,000 acres. It's not yours. You have got capacity to use it, but it will be gone. It belongs to God. Nothing belongs to us. So, Magride Kaskivid Dhanam, don't desire others' wealth. We can remove it two ways. Don't desire as one sentence. I mean, don't have desire at all. Why? Because after all, whose it belongs to? This is not yours. There's nothing to desire. But the important thing is, Tena Chaktena Bunchita. Tena means with Tyaktena. Tyaktena means Tyagam. What do you have to sacrifice? Karma balam, all is fine. They're all in the progressive way. But here it means you sacrifice your jiva srishti. Because when I want to put Ishvara drishti into whatever I see, what do I give up? I give up my jiva srishti. He says, give it up. Don't have your own view. Don't have your biased view. It's a lot of meaning here. That means everything is fresh. Sanadhanam. This is Sanadhanam. Everything is fresh. Because when you start doing, when you start seeing things as they are, that means you are in the present. Life itself is a present to you. Present is a gift. But you are in the present. Timelessness. Why I'm saying timelessness? Because he hit me yesterday, therefore he's a hitter. I want to hit him back. That jiva srishti happens because I live in the past. Thought, karma. If I see him first, this present, I have no pratyabhijna. I don't care what happened. I don't even remember them. It's fresh. I am in the present. Or this guy is coming here to ask for a loan in the future. Thought, future thought, time. No, I just see him as it is, present. So I am moving away from timeliness to timelessness. This is not a great magic. They say, how do you call it and how do you transcend time? The body cannot transcend time, no way. The mind cannot transcend time. But I, the aware, who is being aware of this, can live in timelessness. That means I live simply as I exist in my present time. Because in a present time, there's no time. Forgive me, the language, I have no language to talk to you about that without telling present time. Because when I am, this very moment, the moment is gone. But I still exist. Therefore, the moment which is gone comes and goes. It doesn't matter to me. I am just seeing as it is, like a child. That is called timelessness. So, to be there, you have to give up your jiva drishti. So, the sacrifice here is your jiva srishti. If you do a jiva srishti, that means you are, why I think you are a person going to hit me or ask me for a loan or do something, because I have an experience of you. Experience is thought. I have vrittis I'm storing. My vasanas are there with me. So that is driving me. So if I have to give up, is it easy? Can you give up your, can you give up 10 pounds? I can give you. Can you give up 100 pounds? I can give you. Can you give it 10,000 pounds? I'll think about it. Can you give up your house? No way. Can you give up your children, wife, family? No way. Because I have more attachment. So this guy slapped me yesterday. I can probably forgive him, but not everything else I can give up in Jiva Srishti because I nurtured them. Then, what is the Jiva Srishti? How to give up the Jiva Srishti? The Jiva Srishti is just a verb. Jiva Srishti is to combine because I have a Jiva Bhavam. Jiva Bhavam is I am this body, I am this mind. So when I give up Jiva Drishti, Srishti means give up the Jiva Bhavam. Give the Jiva Bhavam means what? Give up the Ahankara. Give the Ahankara means what? That it is not I am doing it. At an ordinary level, you become Darsana. In Karma Yogam, your Tyagam is what? See, Tyagam is not an emotion. People think, I got compassionate, I give Tyagam. No. Tyagam is a sadhana. You must take it like this. Emotion will come and go. Sacrifice, Tyagam is a sadhana. That means you must practice to do sacrifice. Sadhana is to be practiced. You pass by and you see a beggar, you give him 10p. Or you finish eating and there's a little bit sandwich you don't want to eat, you give it to him. That's not Tyagam. Tyagam is what is dear to you, what you need, you give up. That's Tyagam, right? I went to Kashi and I need a sacrifice. I stopped eating bitter gourd. Oh, when did you stop eating? I never eaten it, but I gave it up. That's not Tyagam. Tyagam is what is dear to you. Now, what is dear to you? Your BMW car, yeah, until it hits an accident, it's gone, scrapped. Your children, well, until they kick you on the back at some day. Your wife, mostly, but sometimes when she irritates, no. So what is dear to you? Yourself. Don't be ashamed to say. Everyone loves one's most. But if you do not accept it, and if you do not express yourself that you love yourself most, you cannot love anybody else. A man who is so deluded that he hates himself cannot love anybody else. I cannot go do a social service if I don't love myself. Because my hate will come on you. I will do a Jiva Srishti. That's why Dhyanam is something which you don't take it easily. Dhyanam is not closing the eyes and then Aham Brahmasmi 1,000 times. That means then Rakshasas will become a jnanis, Ravana did 10,000 years of penance, and what he did. That kind of samadhi used to acquire a shakti, a power in the Laukika world. But to get Atma Jnanam, your mind has to be pure. To giving up my own ahankaram as a sacrifice is a greater sacrifice. That's why in Karma Yoga, what they give you first step. Well, you cannot do ahankaram. Can you do mamakaram? What is mamakaram? Mine. Ahankaram. Give up the mamakaram. How do I do it? Do dhanam. Give the food, give the money. What you have, what is important to you, give it to me. Then after some time, money is at least my ancestral property. My father gave me, I give it away. But I did my own thing. This book I wrote. This house I built. Karma palam. I give it away. These days, you put a simple 40-watt lamp in a temple, you write a 5-meter board, presented by so on and so forth. That's not Tyagam. It's not even a seva. That's insulting. You do quietly. Don't even know. Nobody knows you've done it. Why should anybody know that? Karma pala Tyagam. Like a tree, like a sun. Apple just spores. Then you move from there. Mamakaram, I have some more salt. I can give it away anything. Like Bill Gates just gives away everything. But ahankaram doesn't go. Well, it's a tough one. But what I can suggest you, Vedanta says, after you've done the karma yogam, or while you're doing karma yogam, when you are doing this way step by step, do bhakti yoga. What do you mean by that? Choose your Saguna Brahma, choose your Ishtadevata, Guru, Mata Pita, who are you like? Surrender to them. Total surrender. What do you mean? See, in Abrahamic religion, in any religion outside Sanatana Dharma, a person will not fall on somebody else's feet. Falling under feet is a sign of defeat. Defeat. In all religions, because they all see it as body is the person. In Sanatana Dharma, falling under the feet is a great sadhana, not emotion. That's the reason children, when the elders say, no, you only fall on the elder's feet. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't need to be. When Puduperival came to Kanchi, young boy everybody was falling on his feet. Guru Sthanam is there. You give respect to the Guru Sthanam, that's all fine. But what is, see, I say Guru Sthanam because falling under a tree or a snake or a monkey god or Rama, Krishna, easy, But when you fall to a being who is more sentient than a stone or a tree, we said, very offended. How can you fall on somebody's feet? We discussed, we suspect, there's a guru there. He thinks he's a god. People are falling on his feet. Ego. No. Even the guru, the so-called guru, is at fault. What is not at fault? His divinity is not at fault. Your Jiva Srishti, if you removed it, he is God. Fall on his feet. But while falling on his feet, I'm not expecting anything that he gives me, but I give away. So inside here is, this morning exchange in a friendly chat, somebody said, sacrifice is a loss. Sacrifice is not a loss. It is a gain. Because when I fall on somebody's feet, Mahaprabhu said once in Kanchi Mahaprabhu, it's not accepting somebody's namaskaram, you need lots of guts and wisdom. It looks very glorified, right? Everybody come fall on my feet and I feel proud. Wrong. When you're accepting somebody's prostration, especially do with the sincerity, you're accepting all their fallacies and blemishes to you, all their sins to you. So if you fall on my feet, I take responsibility for your sins. Of course, some of your punyams as well. Then you will think, accepting namaskarams. So what they do, what the Mahaparivas, all the acharyas do when you do namaskarams, they will remove that jiva bhavam. They will say that this is for you, O indwelling God. This namaskaram is not for me. It is for you, the Atma, the truth self. That way, they are free of any transloading or laden weight of power punyas. So that means they become humble and humility is there. They won't say, I am the God, pray to me. You're praying to me. If you go to Kashi and Varanasi, if you see a Maharaj, you fall on his feet. And when you get up, you know what Maharaj will do? He will fall on his feet. It's mutual. It's amazing to watch. What are they doing? They're not respecting you because you are a Vedic scholar or you are having a turf on the beard. No, you worship because you see Jiva Ishvara Srishtihi. Kena Tektena. I have sacrificed my ego. That's why Karma Yoga is important, Bhakti Yoga is important, surrendering is important. Slowly, but the aham. So what do I have to sacrifice in all this way? You sacrifice everything that you can name it. Everything can have a form in it. That means I'm prepared to sacrifice my body, my mind, because I can name it. But what I cannot give up is called myself. I think I've taken more time today. So I will stop it here. We will continue it in the next class. Just complete this part and then we go to the next level. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnameva Vasishyate
Purnameva Vasishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Sorry, my alarm did not go at all. And supposed to go at 15 minutes before.